In this video, I will be demonstrating the use of fraction pieces, which I have here some, and how they visually help a student understand the concept of fractions like a half, a third, a fourth, a sixth, etc. And the fraction pieces that I have here are different colored rectangles. So here we have some rectangles and another rectangle. However, there are circle pieces as well as hexagonal pieces available to use in the classroom. The pictorial meaning of a fraction will be demonstrated where I will use a large black piece as my whole. Later I will also demonstrate using a different size piece as my whole, say this one here. But if the students understand the fractions by using this large piece first, using a different piece as a whole will come easier to understand later. So what to remember with fractions is that we're always dividing into equal sized pieces. So if we take my whole here and we take one piece here, which will be a half, two pieces here, a half. If you ask students to divide something into two pieces, they may take, for instance, this one and cover it, and they're like, oh, there's two pieces here now. However, with fractions, we always divide into equal sized pieces. So I will start with my black piece as my whole and cut it in half, two equal sized pieces. We can write this down as well as 1/2. So the top number is the numerator and the bottom number is the denominator. And there's a few different ways of looking at this to understand it, where you have your whole, which is the 1, and you've divided it into two pieces. You have two pieces. Or you have two pieces of your whole and you have, for instance, shaded in one of them or covered half of it. We can also do this with a third. So there's three pieces that cover the black piece here as my whole. And we can also do it with fourths. Cover them up here, stack them again. And we have also sixths, and so on. So we can also write these ones down as a third. So we have the 1 at the top and the 3 as the denominator, 1 is the numerator. So you have one of, the 1 is your whole, and you've divided into 3 equal parts. 1, 2, and 3. Or I have one piece of the 3 parts. We also have 1/4, so 1/4. So we could have one piece as my whole, and there are 4 of them of equal parts. Or we have the whole is cut into 4 equal parts, and we just have one of them shaded in here. Now earlier I said that if students can understand the largest piece, usually in these fraction sets, to be the whole, you can start using maybe the half as their whole and ask them certain questions. So we can take these here and divide it into thirds. So these are the red ones, where earlier with the black one they were a sixths. As well with the brown ones here, these would be a quarter of the orange, which is now my whole, or where it was, or with this one it was an eighth. So we can see here that it's a quarter of the orange but an eighth of the black piece. But we can also turn it around and say, if this is my whole, what is the black piece? So then the student should be able to understand that if this was a half, if this one was a whole, then this one compared to this one as a whole would be 2, because it takes 2 parts, 2 of the orange wholes to make the black one. And you can play around a little bit more with them using different ones as a whole as well. One misconception that students often have is when you display, say, a half and a fifth, or a half and a fourth, they think that the fourth is bigger than the half because the denominator is bigger than the other denominator, so the 4 is bigger than the 2. With the fraction pieces, you can display that. So you take this black piece as your whole again, and you put on this orange piece, which is half, like we've seen earlier. And then you take the fourth, which is this pink piece, and you can either put it beside it or on top of it. So the orange piece, which is a half, the students will easily see that it is bigger than the fourth. So they will understand from this that the larger the bottom number, the smaller the size piece is. So as reminders from this video, that fractions are always divided into equal sized pieces. They're always equal sized pieces. They can't just be the green and the orange for 2 pieces of a whole, because they are not the same size. And also that with fractions, when writing them down and comparing them, that the bigger the bottom number, the smaller the equal sized piece will be. And that's working with fraction pieces.